Often called the warm heart of Africa, Malawi is a slender, landlocked country in the south-central part of the continent. It's one of the world's least developed, yet most densely populated countries in the world. Around 85% of its 15 million people live in rural areas, according to the United Nations. With one of the lowest per capita incomes in the world, the majority of Malawians live on $1 a day. As a result, its economy is largely dependent on aid from the World Bank, the International Monetary Fund, and other countries. The economic and social issues are no more apparent than in Kota Kota, the largest traditional African town in Malawi. Bordering Lake Malawi, it served as a major port for the Swahili Arab ivory and slave traders in the 19th century. Today, Kota Kota remains a trading center for products such as rice, maize, cotton, and fish. In 1861, Scottish Congregationalist pioneer David Livingstone started a mission here. Livingstone promoted healthcare and education, and inspired abolitionists with his letters, books, and journals. In Kota Kota, once the center of slave trading in the region, under a towering fig tree that still stands today, Livingstone convinced Chief Jumbe of the Chiwa tribe to stop trading slaves. The negotiation led to the end of East African slavery. Following Livingstone's death in May 1873, several African Christian missionary initiatives were founded, and colonial rule was firmly established on the continent, all part of Europe's scramble for Africa. Kota Kota, like many towns in Malawi, is dependent on agriculture, which accounts for 35% of Malawi's GDP. Since 2009, the country has exported an estimated $945 million in goods annually. But global tobacco prices have declined, and the international community has tried to inhibit production altogether because of health concerns. The European Union recently pledged to help small farmers, fighting land degradation and developing medium and large-scale irrigation projects. The Canadian International Development Agency, or CIDA, is rethinking its operations in Malawi. By March 2014, all CIDA funding for bilateral programs will end, with the exception of health initiatives. The Canadian government views the private sector as the main driver of Malawi's growth. Lake Malawi, the third largest body of water in Africa, is believed to be the source of a multi-billion-dollar deposit of oil. Recently, the Malawian government awarded oil and gas exploration licenses to UK-based SureStream Petroleum. Meanwhile, Malawi remains at the epicenter of Africa's 30-year-old HIV/AIDS pandemic. Although contracting HIV/AIDS no longer means certain death, thanks to antiretroviral drugs, an estimated 68,000 people with HIV/AIDS die here every year, with 250 new people infected with the virus each day. Of the estimated 900,000 people living with the virus, 56% are women and 23% are children. The public sector and NGOs provide free health services and medicines in central hospitals. In Kota Kota alone, there are 23 health facilities, including St. Anne's Mission Hospital, but healthcare here is still overstretched. District Hospital 18 is served by a married couple in their mid-20s. Yanjani Mapalaka, who has a 2-year medical assistant certificate, and Merlin, who has a 2-year nurse midwife technician certificate. The pair see about 200 patients each day. There is no dedicated ambulance. It is hoped that younger generations will soon emerge as instruments of change. Malawi's constitution requires that all children receive at least 5 years of primary education. In 1994, the government established free primary education, which led to an increase in enrollment rates. Youth literacy has also increased. but dropout rates are still higher for girls than boys because of gender-based violence along lengthy routes to school. The Movement for the Social Advancement of Disadvantaged Youth, or MOSADI, is a grassroots organization in Kota Kota, led by 35-year-old Emmanuel Kapeka. It trains teenaged orphans, many of whom have lost parents to HIV/AIDS, in trades such as tailoring, tinsmithing, and carpentry. MOSADI, like the Malawian government, has struggled to support at-risk youth since its inception in the late 1990s. And on a continent with a history of colonial exploitation and foreign domination, there's always a chance of past sins being revisited.